Hi, I'm Ted London, Director of the Base of the Pyramid Initiative at the William Davidson Institute at the University of Michigan. And today I'm here with Hector Ureta, who is Director of Social Solutions at Cemex. So welcome, Hector, and thank you for taking the time to talk.
Thank you for your kind invitation, Ted.
And I'd really enjoy hearing sort of, what is your role at Cemex? I mean, maybe you can say, who is Cemex?
Well, Cemex right now is the third largest producer of cement around the world. Has come from being a local cement producer in 1985 to have a presence in more than 50 countries around the world, and coming from an operation that was roughly less than $1 billion in sales to more than almost 16 billion by now. Mainly offering cement and ready mix and aggregates.
Based in Monterrey, Mexico.
Based in Monterrey, Mexico, yes.
And I know you joined them about 13 years ago. What is your role at Cemex?
My current role is to design, develop, implement in social programs designed for low-income communities. Being a cement manufacturer, one of the main axes where we have an action is housing. And with this program, we are aiming to produce solutions for very low-income housing, and to have we have two objectives with these initiatives. The first is, of course, to produce a very high social capital. The perceived value from the communities should be high, substantial. And the second objective would be to, at the end of the day, to produce a business, a viable business for the company.
So it sounds like for Cemex, there's the two goals. One, it has to have some social agenda to it, but it also needs to make money for the company, right?
Of course,
yeah.
And we have these two objectives. We have to think that this low-income segment, it's very, as a cement consumer, is one of the most important segments for the company. Roughly 30 to 40% of all the cement that is produced in Mexico, for example, is consumed by low-income families that are immersed in this what we call the self-construction process. So they have many constraints in this process. It's a process that is it takes 20 to 25 years for a low-income family to build a whole house. And they don't have access to formal credit. They don't have access to technical advice. They purchase the materials in many fragmented, very low transactions. So it's a very chaotic kind of a process. It's very expensive for them to pursue this goal of having better life conditions with a better house. So one of our main programs is designed for alleviating these barriers that this low-income family is facing right now.
That program is Patrimonio Hoy.
That program is Patrimonio Hoy, and we started designing this program with a very basic, in-depth social research back in 1998. And we have spent the last 8.5 years calibrating and redesigning the program, and for the last 4 or 5 years looking for ways to expand the program, and with the aim to be in as many low-income communities in Mexico as many as we could, knowing that a huge portion of our inhabitants, they live in these conditions on a deep need of a better house.
If you think about the program, are there sort of maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 really unique aspects that differentiates this from how Cemex typically does business?
Okay. The first aspect I will say is that being this very large business and cement-based, very aggressive for growing, it was difficult to think about taking the time to develop such a complex program. Complex because it is addressing a very complex problem. So I would say that the first aspect is that Cemex had to create a separate space for growing these little new plants. This space was nourished with multidisciplinary teams in order for us to be able to see all the different aspects in these low-income communities. So the capability that was raised from that program, from that experience, was that the company had a direct conversation with the end consumer. And this is a very problematic end consumer with a lot of needs, in lacking a lot of resources. So we said we build that bridge from the big, huge company directly to these low-income families in the communities. The other aspect is that the program is not, the value offer is not a bag of cement. The program is selling complete rooms, a complete new room with all the materials that are needed, and we are selling these rooms based on a microcredit kind of a form for the families to be able to participate in the program and to build this new room in 1 year and a half versus the 4 or 5 years that on average a low-income family could keep trying to build a new room.
So it sounds like, I mean, part of it is, you need to do some deep listening to really understand this market, and then you've got to really redesign how you think about reaching this market. With that in mind, you've been going on now since 1998 and really, gotten some traction in this program. What have the outcomes been so far? If you think about success metrics, both from the perspective of the company Cemex and also from the perspective of the local communities.
Well, we have been able to serve a little bit more than 152,000 families. We know that we have produced a deep change in the way these families are facing the challenge of being poor. We know that we have hundreds of testimonials on how the program has been helping them to have more space in their house. And that is alleviating one of the overcrowded houses in Mexico, are a source of many undesirable outputs. So these additional space are helping a lot these families. The kids have their own room for doing their homeworks, for thinking, without being with the stress of our crowded dwelling. In the company, we have learned that we are able now to design and to deliver a customized, differentiated product for each different consumer. When we are helping one specific family to build a new bathroom, for example, this is a very specific solution because that bathroom could be 250 by 325 meters in the size, and it is being built in the coast of the Gulf of Mexico, where our building system needs this kind of materials that are very different from the central part of Mexico, and if you are in a need of a different room. So we are dealing with the complexity of delivering a customized solution for each different family. And in doing that, we, as a cement company, we are perceiving that our participating families are able to consume much faster the cement for their construction, and that we are producing a very, very important asset that is a close, warm, direct relationship with these thousands of families. So our ambition would be, I would say, to have one day millions of low-income families participating in the program, and for us to keep bringing solutions for alleviating their housing problems.
Sort of thinking about kind of the assets that you've developed, I know that you're now expanding the program in at least two directions, and one of those being that you're now saying, can we get further down the economic pyramid to reach a community, those in the community that maybe can't participate in the Patrimonio Hoy because the costs are a little bit too high. Can you talk a little bit about that new program that you're developing?
Yes, Patrimonio Hoy is bringing a social solution to these communities, but they still have to be able to pay almost $14 per week to participate in this program. So right now we are designing a new program that it would be able to go at the very base of the pyramid, to alleviate and to help this couple with 2 or 3 kids, all of them living in just one very precarious room, built with waste materials. So the only need that we will ask for them is their willingness, their energy to be trained with very, very easy training, and come with us to this physical space where we are putting some very simple machinery for them to be able to manufacture concrete blocks. So we are designing this machinery. We are putting all the inputs, the raw materials that is needed. We are putting there a person who is going to train them how to use them. One of the important design variables that we are following is that even if they are only women, that could be functioning. So the value offer is they come over for half a day, a group of 3 people for working with this machinery, and they are going to produce, for example, around 200 pieces of block. The value offer is that they can take home half of their production. With those blocks, they can start raising their new room, and we as a company, we take care of the other half, and we look for channels to put those concrete blocks with access for other formal segments. So we are trying here that the more formal segments could be buying a product that very, very low income families are manufacturing. So in that way, our model is designed for producing concrete blocks, for producing all the steel, the rebars that are needed for a room, and also for a roof system that they could manufacture by themselves and then install by themselves. So we are piloting this new initiative. Currently, we have around 16 different locations where we are still learning and adjusting, and we will keep adjusting the program for a while. But our main objective is to help the people at the very bottom of the pyramid.
It's an interesting model because what you're asking is for those at the very base of the pyramid that it's sweat equity in the sense that they don't have to pay anything in terms of economic returns, but they have to actually leave you half of what they produce in the sense. And that half, the other half of the bricks that they leave behind is what funds your venture. It allows you to be self-sustaining, and how it benefits Cemex is they get incremental cement sales. So it becomes a way that both the individual can overcome some of the hurdles they face. You create a venture that's self-sustaining or profitable, and then Cemex as an entity is now selling more cement.
Yes, you're right.
And do you have a sense of how big that type of venture could be?
Well, we know that this segment is even largest than the one that Patrimonio Hoy is serving right now. There are important challenges in pursuing this ambition. We will have to take care of many details. We will have to have an interchangeability between the different products. Probably the blocks that they are leaving us, the concrete block, could reach very local markets. So probably we will need to have this interchange between blocks and rebars that could go much more farther away than the blocks. But always we will have to find an economic node to take care of buying this block, and to be sure that the offer of this block is attractive for those markets, and we have been working with this new design of block that is facilitating the self construction process, and but for the formal contractors who are building housing, for example, we are sure that this block could have the attractiveness for lower cost and lower labor content for building houses.
I know there's a second initiative that you're now thinking about, which is engaging government and kind of, again, leveraging some of your existing assets from Patrimonio Hoy, but in a new way. And can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we are looking behind us. We realize that we have produced a whole basket of social solutions, different initiatives, alleviating different aspects of the low-income communities. So we say now that we are able to come with government entities, municipalities, and the states, even probably at the federal government level, and to offer them the implementation of these different initiatives that could alleviate specific problems that that community, that state could have in certain communities. So we could design a customized social solution package for each different state, and offer them to work in that implementation in collaboration with the government entities, and we will love to see that these synergies could be reached, and that the implementation and the number of families that we could serve are much higher in less time.
I guess my final question to you would be that you've obviously spent quite a bit of time thinking about business opportunities to create value for those at the base of the pyramid. If you were to talk to an aspiring entrepreneur or someone that wants to get into this space, what advice would you give them in terms of how do you get started? How do you really get into this opportunity where you can create value not only for the company but also for those at the base of the pyramid?
Yeah. Well, I will say that it is very important for him to realize that having been successful in more formal segments with a certain product, certain design, certain service, you cannot assure that could go directly to the bottom of the pyramid and produce the same perceived value from these low-income communities. So they will have to be open to redesign completely their service, their product, their package, the presentation of the product, even the contents of the product. I will say the marketing vehicle, the message, everything has to be reviewed, and I will recommend to have the deep insight in the perception of the communities. Patrimonio Hoy, we take this approach, very successful approach. We think that was to redesign the program continually and interactively with members of the community. So that continuous feedback is very important to end up with a design, with an offer that makes perfect sense from their perspective. And you have to work in parallel, checking that the attributes that you will be offering in your product or service are manageable for in your company, and also that the profitability is there, the level of the cost, and all the economics that would be necessary for the whole thing to be viable and profitable.
Thank you, Hector. I've enjoyed talking to you today, and I look forward to continuing collaborations.
We'll keep in touch, and thank you for this kind of invitation.